Hi guys, I'm Sparkmaster Neon, and today I'm here with my brother Tree, and we're going to be talking about judgments. Now, last week we talked about equality, and how now that we love ourselves and know our worth, we should embrace each other. And I think the first topic to cover after that should be judgments. Like when it's okay to make judgments about others and when others have a right to make judgments about you. Now, to me, we should only judge others based off of their actions and how they affect us. I don't think that we have a right to judge someone based off anything else. I think that our actions and our choices define who we are, and honestly, because those are the only things that define who we are, those are the only things that others have a right to judge us about. And all the only things that we have a right to judge others for. So Tree, what kind of judgments do you think are acceptable?
I think no judgments are okay. Because the only person you're allowed to judge is yourself. You have no right to judge any person based on their actions or anything, because you don't know what they go through. You don't know what their life has in store for them. You don't know them. You've never met them. You've never seen them. So why should you judge someone on their actions?
Yeah. Yeah, you only know.
Well, I should say not on their actions, but why should you judge in general?
That's true.
There's no point.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, I understand that.
No point.
But sometimes we all make mistakes, and
I still don't judge.
That's true. Well, what I mean is we slip up, and obviously judgments are going to pop up in our heads periodically.
Yes. Yeah. This is true. That's just the way life is.
Now, I said earlier that I believe judging based off of anything other than actions is wrong. I try to only judge based off things that directly affect me. Like, for example, I work in the seafood department at my local grocery store, and that grocery store has a lot of rumors and drama and stuff like that. Now, I try my best to stay out of it because it's none of my business. And if I hear a rumor go by or I hear it, I just think, it's none of my business. Why do I care? I'm not going to judge someone based off something I kind of hear. I'm not about that. But let's say I hear that someone's saying something about me. I'm going to confront that person. I'm going to be like, hey, are you saying this? And why are you saying this? If it's true that they're saying it. And if they are spreading lies about me, I'm going to judge them a little bit. I'm going to say, hey, that's not cool. Why are you like that? That's really bad. Or let's say a rumor gets to my boss's desk, and my boss approaches me without looking into anything. Like, let's say they're telling him, I'm on my phone 24/7, and I'm on camera working. I'm on camera working for all my hours, and I'm doing my job. And instead of looking at the camera before he confronts me with it, he just goes, hey, give me your phone. You're not allowed to use it anymore. And I'm like, I'm not using it at work. And he's like, somebody said you are, so I need your phone now. I would expect him to at least look on camera and see if it's true before actually confronting me with lies. And if he does confront me with those lies, I'm going to think a little less of him. Because that affects me negatively. I believe that it's okay to judge others if they negatively bring you down, try to bring you down, or negatively affect you in any way, shape, or form. So, Tree, I know you're not a big fan of judgments. But honestly, is there any time you do judge others? And if so, when is it?
I only judge other people when I slip up, when I'm not in the right mind, and I don't think. I just say what comes to my head, and I don't like that. I don't feel right judging other people because it makes me feel like I'm less of a person for thinking that they're less of a person, that they're beneath me, when they're not. They're equal. Yeah. I'm a human, that person's a human. To me, that's just what life is. I don't like judging anyone else because it hurts me to judge other people.
Yeah. I agree. Now, a common type of judgment I see a lot are biases. I think biases are very wrong. Now, I understand it can be argued that biases are a survival instinct. How since the dawn of time, we've always sized up our surroundings in order to keep ourselves alive. And how it's only natural that our brains use the information, whether it be truth or fiction, to help us judge a situation in any given time. So naturally, I know they're going to pop in your head because honestly, it's natural. But it's about not sharing them. Keep them to yourself. If you're keeping them to yourself and you're giving everyone a chance to prove those thoughts wrong, you're honestly in the right because you're not spreading that negativity. We should always be striving to spread a positive environment, with no way, shape, or form a negative one. And honestly, for example, I'm going to go back to work. I work at seafood, and sometimes at work, some of my coworkers will think it's funny to go, oh, they bought that because they're this type of person, and this type of person always buys seafood. And I just think in my head, that's not okay. Like, I mean, I get your observation. I honestly don't agree with it, but I'm not going to say that to them because I'm avoiding conflict. Because honestly, I feel like sometimes people say those kind of things to try to incite a response. And those responses are just going to escalate the negative issue at hand. And honestly, I think the best thing to do is just keep your mouth shut, and just awkwardly nod your head and go with it. Because why let someone else's negative thoughts bring you down? It's up to them to make the change in their own life and their own mindset. And I believe we're all capable of it, but it all takes time and to see the right way. So Tree, how do you deal with others judging other people? And it's not based off of their actions.
I don't. If I see other people arguing over stupid things, I just leave them alone. I don't get involved in their argument, their pity fight. You know, why should I escalate it even further? Why should I deal with that? Why should I involve myself in stupid arguments that shouldn't even be happening?
Yeah, you don't want to escalate the situation.
Yeah, I don't want to escalate the situation. I don't want to make it a bigger problem for other people around, whoever is around the argument.
Mm-hmm. Yeah. And now, these negative thoughts, like I said, they're only natural. So, for example, if one pops into my head, I say, hey, you don't want to be like that. You don't want to be that person, you know? You don't want to be closed-minded. Your standards you've set for yourself are to remain open-minded and not be ignorant. And that's exactly what this thought is. It goes against everything you stand for. Why would you even think of that? It's kind of like that slap in the head. It's inside my head, a slap on the wrist that goes, no, not cool, not okay. Or if somebody does something that, like say they're really angry about whatever thing, and I feel like they're overreacting, and one of my standards is don't overreact. So they're going against my expectations of other people. I try to think to myself, you don't know what's going on in their life. Maybe they're having a bad day. And while that doesn't justify what they're doing, it kind of, helps me think about maybe I shouldn't judge them off this one action. Maybe if it keeps up, I can think less. But right now, it's one time. I'm not gonna think they're a bad person because they screwed up. We all make mistakes. It's about understanding that and moving forward.
It's human nature to make mistakes.
Exactly. No one's perfect.
No one is.
Yeah.
Can't
So,
be.
Tree, if you ever have a negative thought about someone or yourself, what do you do?
I have a negative thought of someone or myself. Well, as I've stated previously, I don't like judging other people. I don't do it. But occasionally, I slip up when I'm not in the right mindset. I do judge other people, but I don't mean to. When that happens, I usually slap some sense. I literally slap sense into myself. I literally slap myself and say, stop that, because I don't like that. That makes me feel bad. It hurts my soul to judge people, unless that person I'm judging is me. Because I'm the only one that can judge me. No one can judge me, and I can't judge other people.
Yeah, I get you. Slap some sense into yourself. Straighten yourself out. Because that's not okay.
Nope.
Now, this world is a dark and negative place, or at least it can be. What's important is that we all strive to keep the light within shining bright, so that way together our light can pierce through the darkness. While we can stop ourselves from making the wrong kinds of judgments, we cannot prevent others from doing the same.
Nope.
So, now I want to talk about dealing with the situation when somebody does make a judgment and you don't agree with it, or they're judging you directly. Specifically, if somebody walks up and says something negative to you without any background for it. They're just trying to spread the hate. Honestly, A personal example of this is I was just out and about one day in my orange, and this old lady walked up and said, "Oh, I bet you're just another rebel trying to stand out in the crowd and go against all the normal. Why can't you just be normal like the rest of us?" And I honestly, part of me, because my feelings had been hurt, I wanted to look at her and say something smart, like, "You wish. I'm not the rebel. You're the one coming out of the middle of nowhere and saying something to me. I'm just going about my normal life like everyone else." But that would spread the hate. That would just add on to the negativity. So I just looked at her and I walked away. I wasn't putting up with that. Honestly, I was not going to encourage that or give her the reaction she wanted out of me, you know? Honestly, I feel like if you walk away, it's unrewarding. And the person trying to get the reward out of it is going to think, "Oh, snap, maybe it's not cool because I was doing it because it makes me feel good, and that doesn't make me feel good. They just walked away and didn't listen to me. That's a bummer." And then if everyone continuously does that, eventually they're like, "Well, no one will talk to me now because I'm an ignorant, dumb butt." Like,
God.
maybe I'm just going to stop being that way. Maybe I should change. Maybe I'm the problem, not someone else. And honestly, that would be walking away to lead it to a positive outcome. So, Tree, how do you deal with someone who's judging you in a negative way?
I don't. If someone says a negative comment to me, like, "No, you're fat, you're unathletic," so I just look at them and say, "Yeah, I'm fat and unathletic. What's this to you?" I almost agree with them because most people don't expect you to come back and agree with what they're saying to you. It usually just like stops them it just stops their train of thought because they're like, "What? That's not supposed to happen. You're not supposed to agree with what I'm telling you. I'm trying to be a negative influence to you. Why did you do that? Because it stopped you, didn't it?"
Yeah.
And after they have no idea what to say, I just walk away because I don't want to deal with them after that.
You don't want to encourage that negative.
If they want to continue to do that, yeah, I'm agreeing with them to shut them up, and then I'm walking away.
Yeah.
Because there's no point in talking to them if they're just going to be like that. Mm-hmm. No point.
Yeah. And another form of judgments we have to deal with every day can come from disagreements. Like, for example, in high school, I was very ill. I was nauseous all the time, and I wasn't feeling well, and I had doctor's notes for homeschooling and whatnot, because I was legitimately sick, and they couldn't figure out what was wrong with me. But I had to attend every 14 days to remain enrolled in high school. Which was, I mean, while I didn't really want to be in school because I didn't feel well, it was nice to see my friends, you know, and get that social interaction with them, because I hadn't seen them in, 2 weeks. Every 2 weeks I'd see my friends, and that was cool. But the thing is, one of my friends, he swore I was faking it, swore I was sick, and no matter what happened, I couldn't convince him otherwise. I even got sick right in front of him, and he's like, "Oh, that's just an act, you're faking it." And I'm like, "Dude, I don't feel well. I mean, how do I convince you otherwise?" And I mean, I got to leave school early every time I went in because I wasn't feeling well. But just that little bit, you know, it was nice to see my friends, and it was nice to see that friend. But every time he was like, "There's no way you're actually sick," it brought me down. It hurt my feelings, and it allowed my depression to take hold. And honestly, there will always be someone like that. Someone who's ignorant to the truth, no matter how well it presents itself.
There's always that one person.
Yeah, it's about being the better person. And sometimes, like, eventually, I just quit trying to convince him. I just went with it. He's like, "I bet you're not even sick." I was like, "Maybe I'm not. Maybe the doctors are lying." But honestly, it was just to shut him up. It was just to not fight him anymore. Just let go. I didn't need to be the one continuing that argument, because I was going to be the better person. So, Tree, has there ever been like a big disagreement for you that you've struggled to get the other person to see the other side of, and no matter what you did, they just wouldn't see the truth?
Multiple, but there's just one. One that just, I don't even think it's ended yet. I mean, it might have, I'm not sure. But it was between two words meaning the same thing, essentially. They're both synonyms. In the dictionary, it even proves, or a thesaurus, I mean. It proves that they both are synonyms. So they're almost identical. And those words are unlimited and infinite. you know, me and my friend would bicker between him thinking that they're not the same thing. They don't mean anything of, they don't mean anything of similarities. They have nothing in common. Nothing. And my argument was that they did. They are similar. They are synonyms, and in some cases they are literally the exact same thing. In most cases, they're literally the exact same thing. But his argument was like, "Oh yeah, well if they're the same thing, then why don't phone what are those phone things called? Phone plans. God, what are they called?
The unlimited data plans and whatnot, right?
Yeah, the unlimited data plans from providers for networks for phones and stuff. Like, they say unlimited because it's unlimited. You have unlimited usage of the 4G data that they give you. You know, I mean, yeah, they don't call it infinite data plans because that's not alluring. But it's essentially the same thing. Even if they use infinite, you have infinite use of the 4G while you have that plan. Because that's what unlimited is. You can use it unlimitedly. Limitless. To endless bounds, you can use it. Mm-hmm. And he was like, yeah, no, they don't use infinite because infinite doesn't mean the same thing as unlimited. Unlimited is different from infinite. Infinite is uncalculable. Unlimited is calculable. No, it's not. Unlimited is uncalculable because it's literally unlimited. There's no end.
Yeah, they both mean no limit.
Exactly. They're both limitless.
Yeah. And I think that argument's been going on for what, like a year and a half now.
Something like that.
Still hasn't ended. Comes up maybe once a month, and it's like, come on, they're the same thing. But
no,
yeah, yeah. At this point, I almost think he just wants to fight about it for fun or something. I don't know.
No, but antagonizing me, that's for sure.
Yeah.
We have a lot of stupid arguments, but that one takes the cake.
Yes. Yeah, and then the last way others judge you, I like to think of is the justifiable way. When you wrong someone else, and they are mad at you for wronging them, you know, and they have a right to be mad. You wronged them, you know, you screwed them over and made them feel bad, or made them lose out on something important to them, and they feel bad for it. So they're not happy with you, obviously. So the only thing I can recommend is trying to atone and make amends. You know, we all make mistakes, and I have another motto other than shine bright and live a phoenix tale, and it is all you can do is try. You know, all you can do is try to help people. All you can do is try and fix things with others. You know, and if they don't hear you out, that's on them, not you. The fact is, you tried. You know, and honestly, I have a story that goes with this, but first I want to talk to you about how when I do have this all you can do is try motto. And honestly, I would try till the ends of the earth because live a phoenix tale, right? Always rise back up. And I'm stubborn like that. But I limit myself. If somebody wrongs me, I always say, fool me once, shame on you. Fool me twice, shame on me. So it's like a 2-strike policy. And if it's someone I'm really good friends with, or I feel like an exception needs to be made to that rule, I'll give them a 3rd strike. And if that 3rd strike doesn't go well, I don't try anymore. I stop. It's up to them at that point. So a really good example of that is I used to play Final Fantasy XIV. And in that game, I had 2 friends who started dating, and I helped them kind of realize their feelings for each other. I helped them kind of get together. So it was very important that I come to their in-game wedding, which was on February 14th at midnight. It was midnight on Valentine's Day, which is romantic. I thought it was a great idea. And honestly, I really wanted to be there. But on Valentine's Day, I had to wake up early at 7 a.m. for a shift at the grocery store I work at. And for some odd reason, at the time I was thinking midnight Valentine's Day was midnight the night after the 14th, not the night before the 14th. And so I was playing Batman before I went to bed early, and I was in the middle of an episode because it's Batman the Telltale series on my PlayStation. And it looked like, because I had left it on, it looked like I was playing Batman instead of being at their wedding, which made them both really angry for an understandable reason when it looks like that. So I felt awful, and I tried to apologize when I realized the next day, oh no, it was last night, not tonight, you know. And I tried to apologize, and all I got accused of was lying. They were like, oh, don't tell me that you forgot about it. You were too busy playing Batman to care and stuff like that. And they were just yelling at me and screaming at me and saying awful things about me and what I had cared about. Like, there were some things that were very important to me at the time, and they were saying, oh, what you believe is wrong. And they brought this other thing into it that had nothing to do with it. And they were just spreading all this darkness, all this negativity, and I just needed to walk away. I was like, oh my God, I didn't think they would go there, and I was like, I need to straighten my head out. This is ridiculous. And so I did. I gave him a couple weeks, and then I tried to, make amends again. I tried to be like, hey, I'm sorry. I don't know why you think I was playing Batman. I mean, I understand you saw I was on, but honestly, I was in bed. I had a shift, and I sent them my schedule. They saw I worked at 7 a.m., but it still wasn't enough. All I got was screamed at. They didn't want to hear me out. So I was like, okay, it's done. That's it. And I waited a couple months later, and I was still feeling bad, so I sent him a letter, just detailing everything, and how sorry I was. And all I got was a letter back that said, go away, I don't care about you, you're a piece of poop. Except it wasn't poop, it was the bad word. And honestly, at that point, I was like, there's no fixing this. This is it. They're too far gone, they hate me too much. If they ever come back and want to make amends again, I'm down to listen. Because they were good friends of mine, and I miss the good times we had. I like to reminisce on all that. It was really fun. I miss them both. But if they don't want to reach an agreement, if they don't want to fix things, then I can't fix things. And now that we've both wronged each other and gone our separate ways, I feel like there's no way to fix things unless we both come together and agree that we need to put this behind us. But all I can do is hold out hope. So Tree, have you ever wronged someone, and, have you ever been able to atone for it? Or when you wrong someone, how do you atone for it?
I don't atone unless they confront me. If they confront me, we talk it out. We see if we can come to equal medium. If not, then if they don't confront me after I've done something that I guess offended them, I didn't mean it that way, and I had no idea that it did. If they don't contact me or confront me about it, then I have no idea if I did that. I have no idea if it affected them. So, in my opinion, I didn't do anything wrong.
Yeah.
But if they confront me about what I did and how it affected them, then I try to talk it out and see if we can't come to a place where we can hash it out.
Yeah, and find the understanding in it.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah. All you could do is try.
Yeah. All you can do is try.
Yeah.
There's nothing wrong without trying.
Now, at the end of the day, our actions define who we are, and our choices forge the path we walk every day. So, judgments are actions. They are choices we make. If we choose to spread negativity, negative things may come our way. If we choose to treat others as anything else than equals and judge them before giving them a chance, we are in the wrong. And honestly, I think it's important that we always mind what judgments we're making and make sure they're positive as opposed to negative, and we should be encouraging a positive environment in this world. And I think that concludes the topic of discussion. I mean, honestly, if you guys have more to say or you want to talk more about judgments, we can talk about in the comments below. I would love to discuss these things. That's why I make these Tuesday videos. I like to discuss these topics. It adds more perspective to it and adds more fuel to the fire about, how important these things are. If you like the video, give us a thumbs up. I love to get that feedback. It's be like, hey, I like it, And if you want to see more, you can subscribe, and if you want, you can hit the notification bell. The notification bell has two options when you click it. It's personalized, which will notify you on occasion when we post a video. And then there's all, which will, every time we post a video, it'll let you know. It's like, hey, Sparkmaster just posted another video. Check it out, And honestly, I post to our social media accounts every day, and I'm always asking for responses based off the topic of the week. So I would love it if you guys went and checked it out and tried to participate. You can even go to some older ones and try to go through those because these topics are relevant all the time. They are constantly evolving with your responses and perspectives, and I feel like this whole thing can grow as a whole with more engagement. And the links are in the description. We have Facebook, Instagram, and Twitter. And I would love to see you there. I would love to interact with you guys there. And honestly, and if you like gaming, check out my brother Tree Wick. He's got a gaming channel he's working on, and he'd love the support. You know,
3 videos. It's fun.
3 videos right now. You're growing. You know, you got to start somewhere.
I haven't posted a video in a while because I haven't had time. So
yeah, that's true.
Blah.
But hey, he'd appreciate your support nonetheless.
Yeah, never mind. Yeah.
But yeah,
Yay.
I'm Sparkmaster Neon, and as always, shine bright and live a phoenix tale.